Monday on Daily Delivery. Michael Rand here, Patrick Reusse with me as usual. A lot to get to today, Patrick, but first, we're mad. Everybody wanted a different Super Bowl. It was right there for us. Buffalo could have done it. I don't think anybody was surprised, really, that Philadelphia ended up routing Washington. A great, postseason run for Washington, but that outcome, it was a good game for a little while, but then Philadelphia just blew the doors off of them. But man, Buffalo, that fan base, it's not good for them right now. 32-29 is your final. It's, a lot of close calls and missed opportunities.
I have a hard time. I was all in on the Chiefs conspiracy last week, and they got the calls again yesterday, but they weren't blatant. And I blame one thing, the idiocy of Sean McDermott letting them keep calling. You got a 240-pound quarterback that you're trying to push into the end zone or push over the first down marker, and he doesn't know how to run the damn thing. He's going to his left and trying to sneak it. They run it the same way every time. They're getting stuffed every time. Kansas City's got a smart defensive guy, a smart special teams guy. They know how to defense it. What are you doing? You got James Cook sitting on the bench. You give him a little pitch. He's going to run into the end zone. Let the big lunk run outside and run it into the end zone. And you run that thing 4 times and get stuffed all the time. And you might have made it by 3 inches at the middle of the field. Well, so what? When Philadelphia runs it, they make it by 1.5 yards.
Yeah,
so you don't have to worry about it. And you're not trying to throw a 240-pound man into a defense that you put right here. It was idiotic, and Sean McDermott got everything he deserved for losing that game. They had every chance in the world to win that game, and they kept running that moronic play. And hopefully the NFL will outlaw this thing in the next couple of days, but after the Super Bowl's over. But and then what Buffalo was trying to do with it on the goal line, why is that illegal? Keep jumping over the line. What the hell? Right. So anyway. Or was that the Washington trying to?
I think it was a Washington game.
That was Washington, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, you should just keep doing that for 1.5 hours. What you can't say it's a touchdown. It's not a touchdown. It's is this like popular with fandom? Is that why we're keeping it? Do they like saying tush push?
I don't think so. I don't know a lot of people that like it. I don't know. Yeah,
what are you doing?
Silly.
Get rid of the damn thing. It's, you know what? Our Gophers missed the chance to go to the 3rd straight bowl game, Rose Bowl, in 1961 because they called a penalty on them for aiding a ball carrier. Let's go back to making it illegal to aid a ball carrier. How about that?
Well, sure, because it's not just the tush push. Sometimes you'll get down at the goal line or on some kind of scrum play, and you get the offensive lineman just like pulling a guy forward like he's a rag doll for 5 more yards.
It used to be illegal.
It did. Yeah, it did.
And now they can do anything, and they sit there. They change all these little stupid rules and do this, but something that's an abomination like this thing to football, they don't do anything about. I don't get it.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Bills got what they deserved. They, and by the way, you're playing Kansas City now. Kansas City's defense is better than their offense this year.
Yes, it is.
Their defense is terrific, and Allen made those 2 great plays down on long passes that were amazing throws. His last throw, that guy could have caught the ball, but he didn't think the ball was going to get there. But
I know.
anyway, I don't know. They got what they deserved in Kansas City, and I might as well let Kansas City win 3 in a row now. It'll be something to talk about because nobody in their right mind can root for the Eagles for goodness sakes. Can they?
Not from not if you're from here. Not if you still remember 2017. Not
if anyone's ever dealt with them, with Eagles fans, and we're not talking about 2 or 3 years ago. We're talking about for 50 years. If you've dealt with Eagle fans, they're animals. Now, it is unfortunate that the Bills didn't go so you could have the Bills and the Eagles fans together in New Orleans.
Yes.
That would have been something. But I don't know. Kansas City I thought Mahomes was really good yesterday. And with much more limited offense than he's had. When lumbering old Travis Kelce is your main receiver and one guy named Worthy that nobody ever heard of are the only guys you got to throw to, and you're still taking them to the Super Bowl. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, if we can get past our anger and dismay over the matchup, that the game was great. The Bills Kansas City game, it was one of the better playoff games you'll see, and the game kind of the day went kind of according to how you might have imagined, right? Because Washington, like I said, hung in there for a while with Philadelphia, but ended up giving up 55. So I think we know who the worthy champion there was.
Yeah, but they, if they didn't give him the ball 3 times, they would have, it would have been a game probably got out of hand when they were trying to do stuff at the end. I thought Daniels looked good for a long time, but his teammates kept turning the ball over and 3-0 on the turnovers. And I got to admit, I didn't watch the fourth quarter, so I don't know how it got to be 55. Did they keep turning it over? I don't know.
I was kind of in and out at that point too. I know that Barkley and Hurts each had 3 rushing touchdowns, so they just mauled them on the ground yesterday.
How about Barkley? Man, you hand him the ball for the first play of the game, he goes 60 yards for a touchdown. That was unbelievable.
Running backs are making a comeback, Patrick.
Yeah, but especially this one.
Especially that one. And
he's an all-timer. All-timer. God, can you imagine being a Giants fan and watching that? Saying,
"Oh, geez,
we gave this guy away." Okay, really?
We kept Daniel Jones instead of Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, it is nice to see. It is nice to see the running back. Of course, the NFL is probably going to get upset if they have to start paying him again. I've always said. I've been saying for 5 years the running backs should form their own union and sue the NFL for collusion.
Yeah.
So.
They get paid like safeties or specialists. It's terrible.
Left tackles get way more than left tackles, and it's it's a joke, and it's nothing. Yeah. Plus, basically, they're saying we're going to beat the hell out of you for 5 years, and then when it's time for you to get a big contract, we're not going to give you one. We're going to let you go. So,
You know what the problem is too with the NFL is that it sometimes doesn't matter how good someone is. It's that if they're considered to be in the category of really good, their next contract has to be bigger than the last guy's. So like running backs, you can't just look at Saquon Barkley and say this guy is special. He's in a different category. I mean, the Philadelphia kind of did, but like there's not like this willingness to pay the truly elite what they're worth and then let the other guys kind of go back down. It's like, no, you got to pay. Well, Jordan Love's next up at quarterback. He's going to get $60 million. It's like, no, like not everybody is the same.
Left tackles are paid that way too. The next left tackle makes more money than the last one. And, it's a weird system. But then again, I'm never going to feel sorry for the NFL for overpaying anybody because they don't have guaranteed contracts. They're thieves. They're the worst human beings in America running these teams. They're thieves. And they don't, if you give a person a contract, you should have to pay it.
Yes.
And I don't know how they can have such a the trouble is they're so recyclable, they're so replaceable that their union and their careers last 3.5 years, so they can't go on strike. They can't.
No.
They can't lose a year. They can't lose a year to shut them down and try to get guaranteed contracts. They can't do that, and it's that's the difference between the people talk about baseball and okay, the union, there's no salary cap, blah blah blah, but the problem is they not the problem, but the fact is they're guaranteed contracts. You give a guy a contract, you got to pay it. That's the way it should be.
Yep. Agreed, Patrick. Who do you like now in the Super Bowl? You like the Chiefs to do it again? You like the Eagles?
I think we saw Jalen Hurts at his absolute best. I think this Spagnuolo is as smart as they say he is as a defensive coordinator, and Kansas City's defense is terrific. And I'm not sure that now I obviously love Barkley, and maybe they're going to be able to run the ball all day, but it's not going to be a shootout, I don't think, but I kind of like Kansas City to, the bottom line is, if you're tied with 5 minutes to go and Pat Mahomes got the ball, you're out of luck.
Yeah.
They're going to score.
It was like yesterday on social media, even when Buffalo had the ball, everyone was saying, Buffalo needs a touchdown drive that leaves 1 second left on the clock, basically.
Yes,
like that.
Right.
That's how you have to do it. That's how you have to do it. Otherwise, they're going to.
He's out there playing with a bunch of guys up the street now. I mean, it's they're ball carriers, or Pacheco's been hurt all year. Right. The other guy, your number one receiver is a fat old tight end who can only get 8 yards down the field now. Travis Kelce, that's your main receiver, and then one or two wide receivers that are interchangeable. They're different guys. It's this is by far the worst team he's had. Mahomes,
yeah, I agree.
And he's still in he's still probably going to win the Super Bowl. Are they the first? They're going to be the first to ever win 3 in a row, huh?
Super Bowl?
Didn't New England win 3 in a row? Didn't they win?
I don't think so.
So they won, what, 7 over how many?
Yeah.
7 over a period of 12 years or something?
Yeah, I don't believe there's been a three-peat. There's been a bunch of back-to-backs, but I don't think there's been a three-peat.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been a three-peat. You got into the pop culture over the weekend, didn't you? You wrote about the.
Boy, that failed miserably too. Nobody ever got it. Nobody could figure it out. Sometimes that happens, and the whole thing was supposed to be a spoof of me knowing stuff about.
Yes.
About pop culture and make yourself, and I don't think I have no reaction to it whatsoever. So
the only reason I brought it up is that somebody on Blue Sky asked me, Zero Dice, he asked me, please ask Reusse about the Kendrick Drake feud on Monday. I think he must have read it. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I thought it was pretty obvious when I said I had Kendrick Drake or whatever his name is. Kendrick
Lamar and Drake.
Kendrick Lamar, are they in a feud? I don't know that.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was funny, but yeah, nobody else did. So the hell with you. That's what I got to say.
Every once in a while, that just happens, right? You think you got something going in here. This happens to me too. Like, oh man, this is good. I really like this. I bet this is going to do. People are going to be interested in this, and it's just like nobody liked it. Nobody got it. You're just like, all right, well, let's take that page out of the playbook and move on.
Somebody said that my audience, the Swifties, aren't exactly my audience. But I thought, by saying that she was going to have one of her biggest record-breaking albums when she dumped the big lug, that I'd get some people who are fond of this romance, but nobody, when they don't read it, they're not going to react to it. So what the hell, So anyway.
Yes.
Then I was talking to KB, Ken Burles was writing the headline. He says, what am I going to do here? And I said, well, because I was going to throw this Blake Elliott stuff on the bottom, and I had a subhead, and I said, okay, we don't do a subhead, we just do meanwhile, and then get into a completely different topic. It was going to just be a kind of a spoof for the whole world, and it didn't work at all. So that's okay.
It was a good meander. I enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you. You're the one.
I was the one.
Okay. But it was funny when I started. The reason I found it was because I was looking up this Haley Steinfeld, who's the girlfriend of Josh Allen, and then I saw that this thing existed, whatever it was, this video, Bad Blood. So anyway, well.
Try to win.
I've written 10,000 of them, and it's not the first one that failed miserably. So.
Beautiful thing is you get to play again. Buffalo does not. Not for another 8 months or so. Hey, we have not talked about the Gopher men's basketball team very much on our segments, for probably the last few years in a lot of cases, but for mostly this year.
Yeah, Clem left when in 99. That was about the last time.
25 years or so.
Doing this then.
Nope.
99. So.
But 3 in a row, Patrick. Two of them over teams that were ranked at the time, and even if we don't think Oregon was maybe all that
good, but
the road win over Iowa sandwiched in between there. I'm stunned. Like this, I didn't know if this team was going to win a game the rest of the year, let alone beat 3 pretty good teams in a row.
I thought they were his worst team. I thought the team that he had the first year where he's taking guys, they're going out the airport trying to find guys with a basketball basket and take them down a basketball bag and say, do you play? I like that team better than this team. I thought they were awful.
I did too.
They were Darcy Garcia's been playing great and during this stretch, but their whole team left. 6 of their starters left.
Well, not 6 starters.
6 of their guys getting heavy minutes.
Yes.
I don't get it. I do not get it how they. They were burying this team. They let them back into it. They were the first 15 minutes. It was.
Yeah, it was 26 to 8 or something.
Yeah, it was. I don't get it. And they now the Michigan court storming was not full volume, right? It was just kind of the students ran out there. But the other day, it looked like the whole crowd ran out there after they beat Mighty Oregon. We've had this arch rival, Mike. We've had this arch rivalry with Oregon so long. I can see the people. Our arch rival Oregon was there.
Hey. So. I don't think it's an overstatement to say that was their best win ever over Oregon. So,
yes, it was probably by far. It's weird to say the least. It's weird, and the other thing is, like the women, they're going out to play Southern Cal and UCLA, and they're having a good year.
Yeah.
But in the Big Ten, Southern Cal and UCLA are both mediocre as can be. UCLA isn't even mediocre, and Southern Cal is just okay. So. I don't know. I'm completely mystified, but I do have a theory.
Okay.
That if Ben saves his job, and it looks like he might now, because I thought he was gone.
Yeah, they keep this up. Yeah.
Yeah, gone. It's going to be one of the great job saves in prominent Minnesota sports history.
Yeah. Yes.
The only one I could think from similar was in 1959 when Murray Warmath went 2-7 and they were hanging him in effigy free outside Territorial Hall. I was there as a kid and went by Murray swinging in the tree, and the next year he was a national champion. I would say that was. This would be the greatest job save we've had in 70 years or something. It was unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I don't get it at all.
To clarify, you're not
I've been
predicting
making I've been making great fun of Marcus, and Marcus turns out they're right. I was saying we got to make a movie about Darson Garcia.
I know you were.
Jimmy Chitwood and Mark and Dawson Garcia. Now they've won 3 in a row. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't either. Marcus is going to be on the show tomorrow, so I'll ask him more about it too. But I thought they were just bad. I thought they were terrible. I thought they might go 0-20 in the Big Ten, especially after they lost that game to Ohio State, like the other terrible team at the moment. You know, when they gave it away 3 or 4 times.
36-year-old Parker Fox gets his first double-double since he was at Northern State 9 years ago.
His 8th year, he has doubled up on eligibility. He has doubled up. He is 4-8. It's unbelievable.
It is. He's having his best year as a Gopher. I mean, he came here as a legend of D2, but from Northern. I have no idea.
He's a great dude, too.
I have no idea how he's doubled. I did not know you could just keep piling up injury years.
You can, I guess. Maybe. Can we get a constitutional amendment to get him a 3rd term? I don't know.
Can we get him start as a junior college guy with the new rules? He could have 10 years.
He could go for 10.
Yeah, he could go for 10.
It dawned on me, and I tweeted at him like a few weeks ago. I said, Parker, it seems to me, if I'm doing the math right, that when you committed originally in college that Obama was president, and he said, yes, that's absolutely true. I was like, oh.
Well, yeah, because he was redshirted at Northern, I believe, right? Didn't he? He was redshirted his first year at Northern.
So.
And yes, he was redshirted at Northern.
Okay.
Then he had 3 years there. Then he had COVID, but then they gave him 2 injury years.
Two injury years, yeah.
Yeah, I did not know. And he wasn't going to come back, right? And then the whole team left, so they said, "Please come back." So
and now he's
like their second best player.
He's good. Yeah, he's a good player. He's always been a good player. It's been a question of could he stay healthy, and I don't know.
I don't think
it's a big team.
Secret.
I don't get it.
I don't think Chip's got a column coming. He went to the game and watched it with his girlfriend Taylor Heisey.
Right.
And I said, Chip, I call him Uncle. She says he calls him Grandpa. She calls him Grandpa.
That's funny.
Yeah, whatever it is. So anyway.
Whatever it is they got going over there it's working.
It is amazing. I hope it's okay, you're going to go to Michigan State, and it's unlikely they could win that one, for goodness sakes, because Izzo will bring the refs with him so that he's got that going for him, too.
Right.
But then you come home, and Washington is terrible. Washington was the one team that I thought that they were better than, because I watched them one day. They're brutal. And you got them here Saturday. So I wonder if what was their crowd the other night?
It was actually decent. It was 11, I think.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
They haven't been that high. I mean, that means they had 9, but, they lie. But if they had 9, that's a lot more than...
Correct.
3,200 they were drawn in November and December. So
yes, I think the 2-game winning streak at that point had caught some people's attention, and they probably got some decent backing in that game. And I don't know. It's a nice little diversion. I have no idea where the season goes, but it's a nice. I think
he's got 3 guys that are coming in that are supposed to be like okay, not superstars or anything, but okay. Well, so, and then I'd like to see the kid from Suma play more, but he's kind of fallen off here too lately. He's not giving him much offense, so I don't know. It's incredible.
Yeah. Last time Marcus and I talked for the show 2-3 weeks ago, that was about the only thing they had going was he's like, actually the recruiting class coming in is supposed to be great. They were like 0-5, 0-6 at that point. And now they're, now they've got 3 Big Ten wins.
Boy, they made Iowa look awful. Oh,
yes.
Man, Iowa was brutal.
Yeah. Iowa couldn't make a shot either, but yeah.
The Iowa fans are way down on Fran. I know.
Oh, geez.
And I was looking on Twitter. They're killing them. They've had enough of Fran. So
a lot of people have. to be honest. But
especially the refs.
especially the refs. That's very true.
Who do you think the refs hate more, him or Underwood in Illinois? It's got to be pretty close. It's got to be pretty close.
I think it's probably still Fran.
Watch your dreams and savings grow with Royal Credit Union's 4.25% annual percentage yield 12-month certificate. Open now at any Royal office or online at rcu.org/certificate saver. Early withdrawal penalties could reduce earnings and principal. APY accurate as of 2/1/25. Insured by NCUA.
You were at the Wolves game the other day. They clobbered the Nuggets. So they okay. I test. Are they figuring it out, or is this just one off? Are they figuring it out?
I think that the coach came in and told us exactly what happened in one sentence when he said it wasn't exactly a defensive battle, or defensive something. He came out and, it was fidgy, and he was going to be praiseworthy of his team. But he wanted to make us realize that when they don't guard you, you have a tendency to make more shots. And Denver packed it in about the middle of the second quarter, and Joker never got down to the defensive end. Rudy looked great. I think Rudy gets fired up when he plays against him.
He does. And,
Rudy had a great game, but
he did. I
would say the best thing that's happened to them in the last couple of games is McDaniels is starting to.
Yes.
All of a sudden he's more aggressive getting to the basket. He doesn't automatically just throw it up from the corner when he gets the ball out there. And if he does throw it up from the corner, it's not it's because they let him do it. And he's when he's really good, which he is the last two games, that makes a big difference.
Yes.
And also, I'll say this, Mike, that's the easiest, that's the most unforced 35 from Edwards I've seen. It was 34, whatever it was.
34, I think it was.
He
34.
He didn't force a thing, and he went and got 34, and it was. But they were shooting. They had 71 points at halftime, and they were shooting 60-some%. So this is not.
Yeah.
They're not that good a shooting team, but. Connolly looks like he's got a little more life in him than he had earlier. And Dillingham, the crowd loves Dillingham. And his first shift was fantastic. It was great. And then the second shift wasn't quite as good. But, you'd like to think it's real, but it's basketball. And, if when the ball's going in 60% of the time, you look pretty good, so.
I'm glad you mentioned McDaniels, because we had a listener last week that said we were being too hard on him. Said he's actually been better lately, and I think to that point it was true. But he's had probably two of his best games since.
Yes,
he had 27 points the other day against.
Well, he looks
Dallas, I think. Yeah,
he looks engaged and happy instead of pouting over there in the corner every time he gets a foul called. He goes pouting off to the bench when he gets his 3 fouls. Staying out of foul trouble, that makes a difference. And. All of a sudden he's just lively as he's got his head down too much for me when I watch him play, but not lately. So it's this is a guy's almost 7 foot tall, for goodness sake.
Yeah,
he can move like that. There's no reason not to be a great player.
No, this is his fifth year. This is his fifth year. They're still young because they were both young when they got drafted, but experience-wise, they're not young anymore. It's go time for them, and we kind of know where Ant is kind of on his path, and it's been a little choppy this year. But yeah, they need McDaniels, especially with what they're paying him to be more than what he had been until the last week and a half. That's for sure.
Well, their last loss, wasn't it? Their last loss, he played 7.5 guys or something. I mean, come on.
Oh, no, it was their last. I think it was their last. The win over Dallas. It was like the next. It was like They needed to kind of chop it down and just to still beat Dallas that way. I think that was the game that Chris Hine, the beat writer for us, of course, tweeted something like. You could, I think that was Conley's best game, and McDaniels went for like 27 in that game. He said, you could imagine a universe where if these guys played this way every game, the Wolves would have about 6 more wins. And it was like, that's not too far off. If those guys had been better this year, Conley especially, like their point guard play has been I said at the beginning of the year, I don't know if the best strategy is having 2 point guards who are 37 and 19. I don't think those are the ideal ages for your point guards.
And Alexander Walker, who was like great for a month or 6 weeks, and then was terrible for a while. He was pretty good again the other day too. So it'd be nice if I don't think he's I think we got more out of him than you could ever expect.
Oh, geez.
But he was while they were unimpressive for a month there, he's been very unimpressive. But you gotta let Dillingham play 12 minutes.
Yeah, you do.
14 minutes, and Minot apparently was in the doghouse.
He was not playing defense.
Rumors are beyond playing defense too. He's somebody said he sent out some goofy tweet during a game or something.
Oh, I didn't see that.
2-3 weeks ago, somebody told me that, and that they kind of felt that this gave them the idea that his attention might not be fully focused. So
that's
apparently
maybe correct.
He's apparently a bit of a loose. I don't know, not a bad guy, but maybe, but. Basically, you know what you can always say if you're a coach and you're not playing a guy and you're mad at him. He's got to improve his defense.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You just got to say, he's got to improve his defense. But man,
you're right.
It was a fun game, and you know what's amazing to me? I guess it's like hockey, but those Saturday afternoon games, the number of kids there was incredible.
Yeah,
it was. There had to be 4,000 kids in the arena on Saturday, and a lot of young ones too. So
don't got to worry about bedtimes. You get those nice early starts.
That's right.
It's a nice one. Are you fired up about the Twins now? They're telling us maybe now.
Oh, they're pretty optimistic. Yeah, they really. It was. I will say that for the TV deal, it's a pretty good deal. $20 a month, or what, 100? What is it for the whole month, the whole season?
Yeah,
120,
something like that. Yeah,
120 for the. I mean, if you like baseball, you can't complain about the price.
No, so, I think that's fine. That's what we.
It's fine, but if you're mad at the Twins and blah blah blah, and it is incredible how easy it is to just. Everybody just on Twitter. Now, who knows what you're getting? I don't. Yeah. I only do Twitter, so I don't know. But we got to bash the poll ads now. It all turns, right?
Yeah, on the way out. Yeah,
on the way out, and it's I don't know. Dave, who's quitting, is optimistic that they're going to draw 2 million. All right, Dave. You haven't done it for 4 or 5 years, but you haven't done it since at least 19 since did the home run gang do it? They must have done it.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah, they haven't been there since. Now that COVID's hit something, but I don't know. Right now they're in bad trouble, but people are fired up about getting the team sold and that they might sign a first baseman. That's not happening in the next week, folks. Okay, no. We might have a new owner identified a month from now or so, 6 weeks, but you're not going to, you won't have a new owner till August. The August writers meeting. I mean, not the owners meeting is going to be the
to approve
first
paperwork,
time
all that.
Ever gets approved. So
right.
I gotta say, I did congratulate at the luncheon Joe Pohlad for his award, and he didn't share the humor of being the Turkey of the Year. He wasn't offended, but he didn't celebrate the fact that he was the first generational winner of a Turkey of the Year award. So I don't know. He's definitely adopted a low profile here now. So Yeah.
The winners don't get any kind of like, you don't bring them any kind of like traveling trophy or anything, right? You
No, we don't really do anything. Although
unless
when Glenn Mason
Mace.
won it, the late great Dick Ames tied a turkey on his front steps. I always appreciated that.
Oh, that's the best.
And somebody was saying it's kind of the award is kind of how people take it is interesting.
Yes.
Some of them just laugh and some of them have a hard time with it. So anyway, it was poor Joe. Somebody had to take the fall for the Twins this year, so ended up being Joe.
He didn't go 12 and 27 all by himself down the stretch, but he set a tone early in the year. That was good enough.
As a father of young children, you'll be interested in this though. Rocco, got the two kids. He got the daughter who's now 4, I think, and then the twins are twins are 16 months. Oh. But there was a picture of these two kids when they were born, like 2 days. They're they're still in the back there, and the one guy is on the left, and he's kind of seems like a big, strong guy with an angry face, and this other little wimp was kind of crowded up next to him, trying to lay on him, in the thing, and the kid's like opening his eyes, looking at him like, get away. Yeah. So I asked Rocco, I said, how are they doing? He says, one of them's just runs the whole operation and is ornery. And I said, see the guy that was on the left that was angry? And the little guy said, yep, their personality never changed from when they were 2 days old. That was them. All you needed was to look at that. So the one guy runs the show and the other, but I don't know. I'm a fan, but it is you're getting new owners. Yeah, we're doing all this stuff. We've changed up the whole the baseball operation. Blah blah blah. What happens when they come in? Who knows?
Good question.
These could be short term. Although I know if it's the Ishbias, they kept the Phoenix guys, I think, and the GM or something. Yes. I don't know. Might have got rid of the coach. I don't know. But
things might have turned over at some point, but I don't think it was like cleaning house as soon as you get there kind of thing.
It's funny how we've adopted them. We have no idea if they're the only outfit out there. No. There's 5 or 6 of these groups. Right.
They're the most identifiable ones, and we already know how they run a sports team, at least, and it seems like they spend a lot of money, even if it's sometimes in the wrong direction. I think if they had it to do over again, I don't know if Bradley Beal would be the third member of
there's rumors they're one of the teams that might take Jimmy, but
that's right.
Miami would have to take Bradley Beal back, I would think, for that to work, right?
Because they just made this wild deal with Utah, I think, to get. So they traded 3 highly protected first round picks for an unprotected 31, or they traded their unprotected 31 for 3 first round picks. You're like, how do you trade 1 for 3? But then you realize, okay, the one's probably going to be the 30th pick next year because it's probably going to be Cleveland. It's like the worst of 3 different teams' picks in all those years. So.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what they were doing, and they're also going to be in the triple apron. They're not going to be able to do anything. So
no,
it's weird. So, boy, we haven't heard much from Connolly, have we? About this?
No, we haven't.
He can go pretty low key. So.
Probably have to hear from him soon because the trade deadline's only a week or so away.
Yeah, and I don't know. You think they can? I don't think they can trade Julius. Do you?
Yeah, when Chris Hine was on, I think last week, and kind of brought that up since the deadline's close, and he seems to think that's you want to know it's going to be harder to trade him until you know if he's opting in or not on his contract, and it might be more of a if they do decide to move on from him, and there's a lot coming to a head in the offseason with their contracts. Yeah. I think it's more of an offseason question probably at this point, unless they think they've got a deal right now or that they can get better and try to improve. But they spent a while getting any kind of chemistry going right now, and then if they just
Yeah,
punt on that again. It'd be hard.
Yeah. Finch always throws in an accolade for Randall when they play well.
He does.
He always. I don't buy the idea that he thinks he's great, but he thinks he's worth defending. That's for sure.
Yeah.
When they were introducing the starting lineups. Okay, the crowd, they go crazy for the last, and there was a rumbling of boos for him.
Okay.
Not a rumbling. I mean, I was where I was sitting. You can. It was an undercurrent. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
There was somewhere in the building. There's 1,000 people going boo.
Yeah. Right.
Same thing with Rudy too. They're down on Rudy too. So
yeah. Well.
It's the NBA now though.
Yep.
82. There's 82 of them, and some nights the ball's going to go in and you're going to look great, and other nights the ball's not going in and you're going to look lousy, and you all think it's their attitude, but sometimes it's just they're not making shots, and you look terrible. So.
And you got a fan base who's treating it like 17 NFL games instead of 82 NBA games, and it's just living and dying, and everything's falling apart.
If you're a Denver fan, you got the Joker, one of the 5 best players in the world. I mean, in the history of the game, probably. But they don't show up. So what are you going to be mad at them for the rest of the year because they show up here and let themselves get beat by 25? It's
I don't know.
It's the NBA, and a lot of weird things happening in the NBA, more now than used to be, as far as bad teams beating good teams every once in a while. It happens now. So, anyway.
And there's not as many terrible teams as there used to be either, especially in the West. There's a lot of mediocre teams, but there's not a lot of terrible teams right now.
Yeah, and everybody can play. Now I do think that you watch the Joker, and I won't be around. But what's the game going to look like in 15 years when every team's got one of those guys? Every team's got a Slovakian or Slovenian or somebody who's started playing hoops when he was 5 and has now got a 7'2" father. These are big men. They grow big men over there in the Balkans. So and they're invading the league, to say the least.
Yes.
But, anyway.
Yes. All right, Patrick.
I think our team of the week, though, Gopher basketball. No,
I agree. I agree. And if they manage to stun Michigan State, then look out, and then we'll know it's for real.
Then it's
unlikely. But
so anyway, that's what did we officially decide O'Connell got paid?
I don't know if we did. I didn't see a number. I mean, we were kind of fishing around that.
They thought it was 14 or 15.
I mean, that was the ballpark going in, so it wouldn't surprise me. But man, the NFL money, the coaching money is it's getting nice.
All of a sudden, it's going up. Yeah.
Well, there's no cap on it.
Any chance he's overrated? Any chance he's overrated?
I think he's pretty good. I mean, I don't know.
I think he's pretty good, but I lost a lot of faith in him when he just put it in neutral at the end of the playoff game and said, I'm going to try to hold the score down here." So, I don't know.
A little PJ-esque there. It was, I think he's better. I'm not blown away at him as a play caller. I'm pretty impressed with him as a manager of the whole operation.
Oh what
coaching is these days.
It seems like a civilized human being. So,
yes, but seems like a smart guy. Every time I listen to him, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So I don't know.
I do miss him though. I like a coach where you can see is visibly mad at his players. It's easier to write about. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So I take it Zim's unemployed, huh?
Well,
what a hire that was, by the way.
That was weird.
What was that?
I don't know. Schottenheimer,
Yeah. Well, does he not want to pay somebody, or what?
He doesn't. That's what I read that somewhere. It's like Jerry Jones doesn't like to pay his coaches. Like, what? This is a guy with more money than anybody on earth, and he doesn't want to pay his coaches. What is he doing?
Yeah, weird.
I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me. But then again, not everything does.
All right, sir.
Appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
Goodbye.